Salakia, I had a call come in. Salakia, this is gonna be part two. I hate it when that happens. It's just Satan. That's all it is. But if you read this scripture right here, it shows you that in the time of the redeeming of the people of Israel, that they're going to be needing to be taken out of the hands of them that are stronger than him. Because James Brown, Mr. Brown, Dr. Brown, whatever his name, Michael Brown, is saying that the people were bought into the land, they were established, but they were bought in by the Balfour Declaration. And then what's the one thing? Because the Lord hasn't redeemed yet. That would mean that the Lord redeemed his people and the earth is in subjection. And if you read the rest of Jeremiah 11, this goes into that the children of Israel will go out singing, dancing, will have their own land, will be in peace. The Lord will increase them. This ain't happening right now. The land of Israel is in turmoil with the Palestinians. So it can be talking about right now. So there's the redeeming time still has to come. So I read this to pull this up. So now what I did is that I typed this in: Israel, now one of the world's top military weapons manufacturers. That's all you got to read right here. How is this the people and they, the so-called Jews today that are in the land of Israel, how are they going to be redeemed from the hand that is mightier? Because what it goes into stronger goes into having something that's solidified. It says resolute armor. Because now we can know, because what was the blessing of Esau? The sword, the weapons. Now we know that Israel, the so-called Jewish people in the land, are the strongest manufacturer of weapons on the planet Earth. Not the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They barely have military. Some countries do, but they're still under the hands and under the control of Babylon and the hegemony and the structure that is set up on the earth. They let them have military, but it's nothing like they have. Okay, let's read it again. It says Israel, one of the world's top military weapons manufacturers. And it says Israel defense technology is being increasingly incorporated by militaries from Asia and Europe. So, but we know that there's going to be a war in heaven, that the men are going to fight the Lord when he comes out of the sea. We know that in the scriptures. So wouldn't these weapons be the ones used if they're the top weapons on the earth? So Israelis, the so-called Jews, are producing weapons because there ain't going to be other weapons produced on earth that's going to be fighting extraterrestrials. They're going to get the best of the best. They're not going to go to Pakistan and use bottle rockets to fight the Lord. No, they're going to use the best technology known on the earth to fight these extraterrestrials, what they call extraterrestrials, because we know that there's going to be a war in heaven. And it says a series of defense deals by Israel and technology presents in Aero India in February 2021 illustrates how Israel's new weapons are transforming the world of war. Keep going. In late January, Boza Levi, the CEO of Israel Aerospace Industry, said that his company sees India as one of its main partners. This value partnership is characterized by long-term cooperation, joint development, and manufacturing, technology transfer, and technical support over decades. Israel AIA, one of the three defense giants, recently conducted a successful trial of India with its medium-range surface-to-air missiles. Air Defense System IAI has made more than $5 billion in deals in India in the last 5 years. The company works closely to tailor its products to make in India approach in New Delhi has pushed the meaning partnership with the local companies. IAI is now showcasing its success in drones in India's marketing countries and attending Aero India. So you're seeing, we can keep reading, but now these weapons is the top manufacturer. So how can this precept be fulfilled? Let's read it again. And this is verse 11. For the Lord has redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that is stronger than he. We don't have a standing military. The so-called Negroes in America do not have a standing military. You can say, oh, that American military. No, we were brought here. What military do we have that's not a conquered and our enemy's military? We don't have that. But the so-called Israelis have the most high-tech weapons on the earth as of right now. They're the strong ones. They would be the strong ones. They would be the ones that are that have because who's profiting off of us? We can't. Who's going into stem cells? Where do stem cells come from? Look up that abortion rates. Who got the top abortion rates on the earth? It's all about. It's not the proof is in the pudding, man. We can talk this and talk that because we have the enemy telling us that we're not who he's pretending to be. At the end of the day, we don't have to prove this because the spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of Israel. We don't have to prove any. We believe in ourselves. It says be convinced in thy own mind. It didn't say be convinced because everybody else is convinced. The Lord is looking for those that are stirring up their pure minds, though we once knew this. This is who we are. It makes sense. You don't walk like us. We have the best dancing, the best singing, best food, the best palate, the best skin color, the best everything when it comes to that. Only thing we don't have is money superiority because we're not on top, because we are the cursed people of the earth. So there would make sense that we wouldn't be on top, but we have all the skills and the know-how. But look at the inventors, the great black inventors and Jakes, and not even, we always talk about Negro inventors. What about the Issacharite inventors? We always go into Nikola Tesla being an Israelite. All the inventors that didn't look exactly like Jake, didn't look like Negroes. See? So this is where you have to see, you have to look at all aspects of this truth and not just look at what the current society has in play to tell you who the children of Israel are, man. Especially the ones that are claiming, because let's say he says, oh, well, you guys are the children of Israel. What is that going to make you and your whole nation? Thieves. It's going to make you robbers. And then they're going to say, damn, you put these people in slavery. You put the children of God in slavery. They're not trying to have that stigma. They rather go to full gusto with this lie because the truth is not going to set them free. The truth is going to put them further in the case because that's how the Lord is unraveling their foreskin by putting this truth out and waking us up. That's a part of their shame. Because when you pretend to be somebody, just like in the movies where somebody has to pretend to be this mercenary that's never been seen before. When they find out it's not him, guess what? The people are angry and they want to do something to him. So the same thing. You've been going on the lie that you are the children of God, and that's what justifies the land that you're in, the movements you make, the authority you have. The world has believed that. So you have to go to gusto, or the opposite is not going to be good, man. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out and have, Mr. Brown answer that question. You don't even got to answer it for real, but it's there for Jake to look at and to further proof that we are the children of Israel. This is Isaiah 44:23. Sing, O heaven, for the Lord has done it. Shout, ye lower parts of the earth, break forth into singing, break into singing, ye mountains, O forest, and every tree therein. For the Lord has redeemed Jacob and glorified himself in Israel. And what's that coming to the time when Yahushua pulls us out of the hand and of the iron furnace? Because that's the same thing Egypt was called, iron furnace. This is another iron furnace. It's slavery. Because what did the Lord tell Moses? He said, I've heard the cries of my people in Egypt. So the same thing, you don't think we're crying these days? We're crying more than ever. It says, thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by himself. See? So we're in that time, man, when the Lord is redeeming and bringing us back. But it starts with the knowledge, wisdom, and understand, because the words are a weapon. That's why they're coming at us, because they feel attacked. This is Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come. That's why Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, that made no account of his labors. Who really didn't make an account of our labors? Who's the one that had us in deep bondage? Was the so-called Amalekites. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Asia and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea. So we're spread out through the four corners of the planet Earth. If we're living in all these places, guess what? We're going to acclimate ourselves to these places. That's how we're going to be many again, because he tried to say that the Israelites would be few. But Lord, when I can go into that at another lesson. It says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The four corners, not a smidget, not a spot in the earth that the so-called Jews migrated from and went to the land of Israel by the Balfour Declaration. That's not how it's supposed to be, man. That's a fabricated, because they did not anticipate the awakening of men's minds. That's what Esau couldn't fabricate. That's why he had to make it a point to put fluoride and all these things to try to decrease men's mentality capacity, men's mental capacity, because that way it's easier to dupe somebody. This is Isaiah 10:20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but he shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. That's why we say Amath. This is the Amath. We in the truth time, man, where the Lord is putting all these truths out. That's why it says we are in the truth. The truth has set us free. We're not crying unto you. We're not wanting you to redeem us and give us no money. That's what Esau thinks, that we're trying to do something to get something. We don't want nothing from you, because what we really want is justice, man, which only comes from one entity, which is Yahweh, which you ignorantly call God. This is Isaiah 48:20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. With the voice of singing, declare ye. What's the singing? This truth. Tell this or even to the ends of the earth, and say ye, the Lord has redeemed his servant Jacob. And they thirst not, it says, and they thirst not when he led them through the desert. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He clave the rock also, and waters gushed out. And you're seeing that he's cleaving this rock now. We're being nourished. That's why it says he's going to pour water on the dry ground. This truth is poured water and is redeemed and refreshed us again, man. Just that's what water does. It refreshes your body, man. All right. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to leave it here. And I want to say, call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Say, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. And definitely go into it and read Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. It's a beautiful chapter. Shalom.